Spirit Bear does have a Venom Orb, as well as he's also got the Phase Boots at the moment. Looks like I-2000 is just going for some early items. Says, you know what, let's just hold off on that Radiance. Probably not going to see something crazy like Hao or Sylar picking up those 14-minute Radiances. Probably going to see something closer to a 20-minute radius, which is still just fine because they don't really need to. The Dire really don't need to start turning up the pressure until about the 20-minute mark anyway. It's going to give them time to get a few more levels and stuff. Give time for Invoker to get some higher level Forge Elementals, and they can right now they can just focus on putting pressure on different lanes. Because the whole minion push really doesn't hit its stride until they're on top of a barracks. We see a bit of scouting being done there. The Venomous Gale gets thrown to Hanny, going to lose his refraction charges pretty shortly. And now the teleport's coming, the stun goes through. They're going to try and pick on Shen here. Here comes the Sunstrike. The nukes! Queen of Pain actually snaking that kill before the Sunstrike even landed. Somewhat wasteful, but either way, at least they pick up a hero. Now they're going to turn the pressure up here. Going to try and keep pushing forward by the looks of things. Actually, way too sexy is going to back up. They might not even bother. Templar Assassin finds herself an Invis rune. Can she do anything with it? I don't think so. Queen of Pain just rotating back to the bottom lane. Meanwhile, though, Era is being left alone to farm. Up to 35 and 12 now. Still a fair way behind where he wants to be. Meanwhile, Lone Druid, where's his bear gone? He's being sent back to the base to regen. Now, it is rather low. Doesn't want to waste that resummon unless he has to. Just take a look at the early gold chart at the moment. It's currently somewhat favourable. You see the Venomous Gale managed to land on Hanny there. Hanny, though, managing to block some of that damage with refraction. Crystal Maiden throwing in a nuke defensively just to try and chase him off Hanny. But going back to the gold chart, they are currently sitting on close to around about 750 gold advantage for the Radiant. We've got to remember, though, they do have a pretty dedicated jungler in the form of Chen, so they are earning a bit more cash in that regards. I think the experience chart will also, yes, it does show a slight favour towards the Radiant side, but that could be set to change in a minute. We go Invoker finishing Fog, finally getting his Phase Boots done and dusted. He has picked up an early, interesting, he has actually picked up an early Null Talisman. Don't see that too frequently. And now Chen looking for a gank. There's a smoke gank incoming. The slow being thrown in. Queen of Pain just going to set her up for these nets. First net comes in. There's the slow as well from Sidetrap. Second net in a second. Although they're just going to Frostbite instead. And an easy kill there on Queen of Pain. She was playing quite aggressively. She thought she was safe. Unfortunately, Smoke of Deceit allowing them to bypass these defensive wards being placed to watch Queen of Pain's back. And now a push here from Fnatic, going to try and take out this level 1 tower in the bottom lane. Just going to try and accelerate the gold farm. Meanwhile, though, a bit of the same deal happening on the Dire side's top lane. They are going to go after this. Oh, no, there's the epicenter. The Sunstrike as well. Darkseer gets cleaned up nice and easy. Although the push power from the Dire side is nowhere near as good. Venomancer getting cleaned up on the bottom lane as well. Just getting dived there by the multiple slows. The range on side traps plus the follow-up in the form of open wound is too much for him. Queen of Pain now teleporting back. There's the first net though. Frostbite going to come in. There's the second net. Pops her ultimate. She's taking a lot of damage. Chen now throwing down the heals and barely keeping Crystal Maiden alive. She dropped extremely low. Here is Sunstrike. Where's it gone? Doesn't manage to find anything though. It was aimed at Chen. Or it might have been going after Chris. No, it wouldn't have been after Chris, man. They would have been able to see that easy. See Queen of Pain giving chase, though. Going to throw down the Scream. Doesn't quite do enough damage. Crystal Maiden teleporting back to safety. Very low on health there. So we see, can they sneak in the deny here? It looks like Hanny's just going to try and chase off Fog. There's the Cold Snap. They pop the Glyph, though. And unfortunately, Fog tries to fight and gets slammed by Hanny, who gets the Tower Destruction as well. Probably going to meld to save his life in a second. There is no detection there. Has to run though. Here comes Sand King. Going to try and charge in here. There's a ward that's going to keep popping. Oh, they're just going to keep the damage popping here. Just trying to shut down the Blink Dagger, and they succeed. Unfortunately, there was a side trap placed in advance just to watch the rune. And Hanny manages to escape, baits him over the side trap, and then saves himself. Fortunately for him, Sand King is definitely doing a lot of the support work here. Hasn't managed to pick up a whole lot. Looks like Darkseer is working on a pipe for his team, which definitely can justify. They are up against Queen of Pain, Sand King, as well as Venomancer. Used to be the old build was they just went straight for Vanguards, but not anymore. It is always, they grab the pipe for Darkseer. Just getting that early pipe, it really makes his teammates extremely difficult to kill, especially against this type of lineup. Now, Lifestealer, we see here, he's managed to pick up gloves of haste. The question is whether or not he's going for a Midas, or if he's just going to go for... try and pick up an armlet. I honestly don't know if he'll go for Midas, just because it'll be a little bit late at this point in time. And they know there is going to be a fairly hefty push incoming relatively soon. Oh, wait a minute. Okay, I'm not... Okay, I think we're actually possibly going to see a double Maelstrom. I was about to say a double Midas, but I figured if they was going for a double Midas, he would have finished off one before the other. So my only explanation here is either he's just buying cheap items there just because, or we're going to see something like a double Maelstrom build here. O2000 does do some fairly different builds. You know, he does do the, what was it, the Rush the Manta style and Bruma. He does play very differently to other players, so who knows what he's coming up with here. The Burrow Strike, they're going to try and shut down Darkseid. Darkseid also getting copying a slot in the face. The Roots proc, and Lone Druid gets the kill. Those are definitely different items, though. We'll see what he goes for. And Yellow, looks like Yellow's now pinging. They're all up top, push mid. And it looks like it's exactly what Fnatic is going to do here. Going to put the pressure on the mid tower. They've got the Chen creep here. This should be pretty easy for them to cleave through. Yes, the mass nukes there being used to shut down that creep wave. Defenses are being rolled up though for Dignitas. Dignitas now moving in. And I hear a Sunstrike. It's going to connect. It managed to hit Crystal. Oh, what was that? Sneaking! Completely screwing that up. And now possibly about to pay for it with his life. Blinks away at the last second. Crystal Maiden escapes with her life. She would be laughing all the way back to the fountain. Oh my schneckles indeed. Meanwhile, up in the top lane, Lone Druid gets a tower kill. They're trying to chase him off. Cancels the teleport that actually gets taken out by the vacuum. And now Error is going all for broke. He's going to try and take out the Lone Druid. Unfortunately, he's being blocked here by Darkseid. Darkseid getting in his way here. Comes a Sunstrike. It lands. Does a lot of damage to them. But unfortunately, they're still trying to run down this Lone Druid, who is extremely speedy. I think Trixie here really needed to speed up Error more than anything else. And there we go. They managed to kill the Darkseid. This is somewhat embarrassing. Gank absolutely backfiring on the Lone Druid. However, they do pick off the Queen of Pain. She just strayed way too close to these Iron Shells. They did way too much damage to her. So O2000 is going to back up, although the Blink Dagger from Linnea going to cause critical damage there. It's a slow. The Bear procs a massive troll. Needs to be careful. He doesn't get the Bear killed, though. That could have actually taken out Lone Druid, and in the end, a Sunstrike hammering Linnea. Fortunately for Invoker, they managed to peel off the refraction before that went through. Lifestealer now picking up a tower. It looks like Fnatic are doing better this time round. Fnatic actually started off with a really good early game last match, while about this time, though, last match, the entire game had been flipped upside down on them. They were getting destroyed. This time round, though, they're doing a lot stronger. They're still holding a decent gold lead, 2k. And more importantly, they are holding an experienced lead as well. Not by much, though. I think Dignitas, though, making a couple of questionable plays. Invoker now working on his 4-star. This will definitely help out a lot. A, it'll really mess with Naix. Secondly, it's also going to help him get away from Linnea. Linnea currently can just jump on him, throw a side trap, jump on him, and it's very difficult for Invoker to do anything about it. Of course, he could go invisible, but at the same time, if he starts spamming Ghost Walk, they're just going to pop some dust and counter that completely. See Chen now still with his massive creep. They've already taken this top tower. I think they're deciding to... It looks like they're going to back off. Meanwhile, Queen of Pain gets picked off. The mass slow is too much for her to deal with. And Lifestealer this time did indeed go for the early armlet. And we'll see exactly how good this was, because like I said, the couple of buffs that he received was the fact that Rage lasts longer now, a good second and a half or so, and as well as the fact that Armlet, one of his core items, is now a lot stronger than it used to be prior to 6.75. Now let's check on the Lone Druid build. It is a Maelstrom. This does look like a double Maelstrom build. There we go. Meanwhile, in mid, though, they take out the Venomancer. Looks like Invoker is likely to fall as well. Invoker gets cleaned up. The heal gets popped by Chen. And Dignitas, they are in a fair amount of trouble here. Fnatic is hammering them, driving them back. Do we have a mech on the way? Chen, yes, still working on his. The tower gets taken out. No deny for them there. I think the bear was searching on the slope, and Queen of Pain does absolutely nothing against the Frostbite there. Look at the damage on Sneaking. It's vacuumed back. She may escape or not. Hanny says none of that, blinks in, cuts her off, and DDs her in the face. And it looks like Templar Assassin now working on a double... Oh, she could be working on a BKB. Mithril Hammer, though, could get turned into Could get turned into a Desolator, that's also possible, but I think at this point, against this lineup, she really wants the BKB. It'll completely shut down the effectiveness of Sand King. It'll completely shut down the effectiveness of Venomat, so you have to worry about those disables and basically the damage procs knocking off her refractions. And now Mel being used to assist in an early Roshan attempt. Of course, Snake's going to chop his way through this negative armor, a big deal. However, Sankey now getting caught out by Frostbite. Looks like Tides of Time is going to abandon his teammate. Actually, the Burrow Strike allowing Sankey to escape. Bear mode activated by Lone Druid. He gets vacuumed back though. Can they get some disables in? Looks like 5 seconds on another side trap there. The slow being used, trying to take out the Spirit Bear. There's 100 gold. And do they have a spare bear? I don't think they do. Yes, they do. Resummons the Pocket Bear there. Now Fnatic gonna duck back, doing about a third. Actually, what the hell? Is he still taking damage? No, he's not. Gonna try and clean up Roshan now, or are they gonna abandon that? Looks like they're abandoning the early Roshan attempt. The trap, the side trap has revealed Dignitas as Templar Assassin finds himself an invis rune. They're gonna try the Frostbite though, gonna prevent the lucky root proc. And Hanny playing very aggressively at the moment, although he's copying a lot of negative armor from those Forge Elementals. And now Dignitas saying, you know what, well, we're on the dire side, let's try and snake this attempt. Roshan say thank you for starting it, and now they're just going to use those Forge Elementals to help them cut through it, letting the bear take a lot of damage. Here we go, Sand King now gets vacuumed into the pit there. And now here we go, the charging Crystal Main getting melted. Will she go down? Hand of God, they're trying to keep her alive. Crystal Main gets taken out. Looks like Sneaky is about to fall as well. Queen of Pain is dead. There's the Venomous Scale only hitting Error there. Error though, not really caring at all. Pops out with the Infest. And he's going to keep giving chase. Look at that Iron Shell doing so much damage. A lucky root proc though. Spirit Bearer is down. Here comes the Epicenter. Counter attack by the dire side. Unfortunately, Sanking again immediately gets taken out. There's AIDS being spread by Tides of Time. Tides of Time now has popped his ult. Venomous Gale up in 1 second. It's not going to be enough though. Dark's in there trying to cut him off. Deafening Blast holding off Linnea. Tides of Time though being slammed on by the Lifestealer now. Another side trap there on Fog. Fog though not being pursued. And they will allow him to back off. I think they might just go back to Roshan and finish him off. Although Hanny actually taking a lot of damage from those Forge Elementals, which were abandoned in the middle of the fight. Not that they would have made that much of a difference. We've got a couple of players here. The question is, can Invoker drop a Sunstrike on them? That could actually clean Darkseer up. Doesn't matter though. They managed to pick up the Aegis. Templar Assassin going to take that. The die with the wards down. Is Error in danger? Looks like Error should be able to escape. Their teleport's on home. And Fog does have his 4-staff done and dusted. Queen of Pain now jumping on top of Trixie. Trixie though backing up. Has popped his own pipe. He should be durable enough to escape here. A 7.5k gold advantage currently for the die for the Radiant, as well as about a 5,500 experience lead, which honestly, still in 22 minutes in, is more important. Crystal Main sneaking in a deny there. Just frustrating the die more and more. Just also going to check on the items right now. His mech is done. I'm looking at the die side as well. Nothing particularly useful done on. Actually, Sanking, of course, his Bleak Dagger is a pretty damn big deal. That is done and dusted as well, but mostly just small items. Error now has picked up a Sange. Question is, where is he? Is he going for an S and Y? I mean, I said before that S and Y, it's a bit of a sort of, it doesn't really make sense in a lot of heroes. I honestly think, of all the heroes, Dragon Knight is one that it really is not that bad on, and Lifestealer would be another. I wouldn't rush it as a first item, but as a sort of a mid-game, especially when he didn't have the best of starts, and he needs to go for a bit of an eco build. S and Y is going to give him some decent items, and he can always break it down a little bit later if he needs to, if he wants to just sort of build something else with it. Even a Heaven's Halberd wouldn't be that terrible either. Would just help cut down on the DPS, because pretty much he doesn't need to worry too much about the magical nukes or the magical DOTs, just because he has Rage available. And he's already getting plenty of damage when he activates that armor, already swinging for quite a lot. When he activates armor, plus his passive do a ton of damage. And having extra maim as well is going to help with the whole people kiting him issue. And the speed as well. Like I said, he's got a few kiting issues. As way too sexy, dives in way too deep. Gets cleaned up in short order here as we see Error now going to town there on Lone Druid. Lone Druid, no way for him to escape. A Meld Strike does critical damage and down goes Lone Druid. Now we see the Surge being used to help him out. Lifestealer going in deep, looking for trouble. Fog now may want to go invisible if he can. No, not. He's just going to force staff away. Possibly regret this. Looks like he'll be able to escape. So it does absolutely nothing. Meanwhile, Fnatic continuing to put pressure on this lane. It looks like they're just sort of hunting here for a gank, hoping somebody will poke out and try and defend against this wave and then pick them off. And it looks like they either know, maybe they're just going to gun for it, or they're all backing up right about now. The Aegis don't really have a timer on this, and when this gets to about 6 minutes, so he's still got about 3 minutes left on that Aegis before it'll vanish. Of course, now the Aegis disappearing after 6 minutes, not 10. Roshan, of course, taking the full 10 minutes to respawn still. And the ward defense being set up by Tides of Time there. Trixie, though, I think he was hoping he could vacuum someone to line of sight. Not dead sure what he was doing with that. Now a smoke gank by Fnatic. Looks like they're just hoping to pick somebody off before they go for a gank. In fact, I think they're saying, let's go top, try and pick somebody off. And they could find Lone Druid. If Lone Druid gets picked, singled out here, there's no, he is so dead. There is no way he's escaping this. Frostbite, open wounds.
You're dead.
Not a chance. You're dead, as Crystal Maiden says. Completely and utterly screwed. Not a chance in hell. Burrow Strike for Stanking. Just going to try and chop his way through this creep. That Iron Shell is proving to be quite frustrating. No follow-up. Really, no follow-up here. Although a nice body block from Stanking there. He's going to try and run through. Pops down the Iron Shell to try and discourage the body block. Here comes a Burrow Strike. They're waiting for the surge. Now he's going to go for it. Do we have a Cold Snap as well? Meteor. Plus, well, a Sunstrike. Not doing a whole lot. Chen managing to get the save in there. Nota also going to back up. Nota also, that's a lot of negative. This is actually really painful. They've got the negative arm from Meld, as well as the Medallion of Courage. That's negative 14. Oh boy, does that hurt. Actually, it might even... Yes, I'm correct. It is negative 14 armor. That is really, really painful. And that is also going to help them deal with Lone Druid, just because they can basically slam a huge amount of damage on him, a huge amount of physical damage on him. And actually, this honestly isn't a bad build. Lone Druid naturally gets a lot of health, so Lifestealer can actually be really effective against him with his passive. And then when you start throwing negative armor on him, negative physical armor, that'll just make him so squishy. Right now, he'll be sitting on negative 2 armor if he gets hit by the full combo. If he gets hit by Meld as well as Medallion of Courage, that's negative 2 armor against these massive physical powerhouses in the form of Lifestealer, as well as Linnea. That is really, really rough for him to have to deal with. And yes, Gadsy Void was banned. The Cold Snap there being thrown down, trying to pick off Trixie. Unfortunately, Fogged having a really big brain fart there and actually throwing in a creep and possibly going to feed a kill here, although they're going to try and take him out. Trixie though managing to escape. He's actually going for broke. He's going to try and fight Queen of Pain. He gets a double kill. He walks away, dodges the Venomous Gale, and Trixie teleports back to base. Big plays all left, right and center, all day, every day. Just leaving Dignitas to scratch their head and wonder where the hell it went wrong. I'll tell you where it went wrong. Queen of Pain blinking in at point blank range, and then of course Fogged messing up the Cold Snap. And meanwhile the push is on top. Fnatic looking to take this to a third game. Tower going to go down. Can they get a Rax up as well? Side trap being thrown in as well. Going to slow down Tides of Time. Here comes the Bear. He's managed to finish a Mjolnir. Of course, the trick being don't focus the Bear so it doesn't spew lightning at you. Although that said, Lifestealer may not care all that much. Looks like they do care. They're not going to attack it. Say, yeah, you know what? We're not stupid. And there we go. Throwing down the Medallion of Courage there on the Spirit Bear itself. Burrow Strike in on Chen. Rage being popped by Nakes. Nakes so not being able to find a target. Stanking proved to be too slippery. Has got Burrow Strike in 4 seconds. Can he get away here? Venomous Gale getting thrown to the Queen of Pain. Not doing that much damage. Being nullified by Chen as well as the Pipe. And now it looks like Arrow though still in some trouble. Gets hit though by that by the Root Proc. Still fighting his way through. Here comes the Epicenter doing critical damage. Nake's still fighting. Nake's being healed up. Nake's still fighting. Will he go down? Yes, he will. He gets cleaned up. And I2000 managing to back up here. I believe he's lost his Bear though, as it looks like a teleport out there for Pink. Fog managing to escape back into the fountain. Meanwhile though, it's 2 heroes down for Dignitas, 1 hero down for the Radiant side as well. Vacuum back. I2000 about to die as well. Gets cleaned up by Linnea. Templar Assassin finding yet another kill. Her mobility is too strong. Getting into close proximity with the Iron Shell along with the Blink Dagger, allowing him to get very, very mobile there. And it looks like they're going to go for this melee barracks. Iron Shell once again. Dignitas calling GG, no reply. GG well played by Dignitas. And I've got to say, Fnatic, this is a completely different team to what we saw in Game 1. And now Queen of Pain trying to shut down Crystal Maiden. Crystal Maiden taking critical damage there. Crystal Maiden surviving. That is not something you see every day. Being saved by Chen as well. Disconnects have already come out, so Dignitas, we will go forward into a third game. And I've got to say, I like this. I really like this Lifestealer pick. It works wonders against the Lone Druid. The slow is fantastic, and this physical lineup is absolutely crazy. It overcomes one of the main hurdles against Lone Druid, which is the fact that he is ridiculously tanky. That said, I feel like they might have had a better lineup had they gone with the whole Radiance build and just gone for the pushing power. Forcing these fights like this, going for the Battle Bear, I think was possibly a mistake, especially when Lone Druid had such a free farm up top. He was completely unmolested, completely uncontested. And I feel like Fnatic probably would have had a harder time against it. But anyway, guys, this has been Trumpman casting Fnatic vs Dignitas in the Premier League Season 3. Please check out the Premier League, premierleague.eu, and you can like us on Facebook there. It really does help out. Also, a big shout out to Twitch, as well as SteelSeries, our sponsors for the Premier League Season 3, making all of this good stuff happen. But stick around, guys. We'll take about a 5-minute break, and then we'll have game number 3, Fnatic vs Dignitas.